Neymar da Silva Santos Júnior, known to the world simply as Neymar, was born on February 5, 1992, in Mogi das Cruzes, São Paulo, Brazil. Growing up in a small city just outside the sprawling metropolis of São Paulo, Neymar's childhood was anything but glamorous. His family lived modestly, and football was not just a passion, it was an escape, a dream, and in many ways, the only path forward. From a very young age, Neymar was immersed in football. He would spend hours on the streets, in the sandlots, and on futsal courts, perfecting his dribbling, experimenting with tricks, and playing in the kind of free-flowing environment that breeds creativity. His father, Neymar Santos Sr., had been a professional footballer himself and recognized his son's talent almost immediately. According to stories, Neymar could mimic the moves of his football idols almost instinctively, and he had a natural sense of rhythm, balance, and improvisation. His mother Nadine played a central role in supporting and protecting him throughout his rise. She often accompanied him to games, practices, and tournaments, making sure that the young Neymar was safe, fed, and focused. Growing up in modest conditions, Neymar's family struggled financially, but football was always at the heart of his life. His parents made sacrifices, sometimes missing meals themselves, just to ensure Neymar had the equipment and opportunities to play and improve. By the time Neymar was a child, his incredible dribbling and flair with the ball were already clear. He developed a street football style, playing futsal and pickup games in the neighborhood. Futsal in particular was critical to his development. The small, hard courts forced players to think fast, control the ball in tight spaces, and make split-second decisions. These smaller, fast-paced games sharpened his close control, agility, and creativity skills that later defined his career. At just 11 years old, Neymar joined the youth academy at Santos FC, the same club where the legendary Pele made his name. It was a huge step for the boy from Mogi das Cruzes. The Santos Academy was rigorous, competitive, and full of talented youngsters, but Neymar quickly distinguished himself. Coaches recall him as a player who could change the pace of the game on his own, a player who combined technical brilliance with fearless confidence. At Santos, Neymar's potential exploded into something undeniable. He was no longer just a talented child. He was a prodigy, a player destined to carry the hopes of an entire nation. By 2009, at just 17, Neymar made his professional debut for Santos. The expectations were enormous, but Neymar delivered. From his first touches on the pitch, he showed a maturity and composure that belied his age. He scored in his early appearances, dazzling fans with his speed, flair, and fearless attacking style. His mix of skill and intelligence drew comparisons to Brazilian legends like Ronaldinho and Robinho. Neymar could dribble past multiple defenders with ease, perform tricks that made spectators gasp, and score from angles most players wouldn't even attempt. But what set him apart was his decision-making, knowing when to take risks and when to pass, when to shoot, and when to set up a teammate. In 2010, Neymar scored 14 goals in the Brazilian league, helping Santos secure the Copa do Brasil. But it was in 2011 that he truly announced himself on the continental stage. Leading Santos to Copa Libertadores glory, Neymar helped the club achieve its first continental title since Pele's era. He scored, assisted, and orchestrated plays with a vision far beyond his years. At just 19, Neymar was named South American Footballer of the Year, a title he retained in 2012. During this period, Neymar's life began to change dramatically. He was no longer just a local hero, he was a national sensation. Media attention, sponsorships, and public appearances became part of his routine. Despite the sudden fame, he maintained a grounded personality, often emphasizing that his success was built on hard work, family support, and the joy of playing football. By 2013, Neymar's performances had attracted the attention of the world's biggest clubs. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Chelsea, and Manchester City were all reportedly interested, but it was Barcelona that won the race. The transfer fee was reported at around 57 million euros, a figure that sparked debate and controversy. But Neymar proved his worth immediately. At Barcelona, Neymar joined the famed MSN trio with Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez. The chemistry was instant. Neymar's flair and creativity complemented Messi's precision and Suarez's predatory instincts. During the 2014-15 season, Neymar scored 39 goals across all competitions, helping Barcelona achieve a historic treble by winning La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the UEFA Champions League. His goal in the Champions League final against Juventus sealed a 3-1 victory and cemented his reputation as one of the game's brightest stars. Over 4 years at Barcelona, Neymar scored 105 goals in 186 appearances, winning 2 La Liga titles, 3 Copa del Rey trophies, and the Champions League. But while his achievements were monumental, Neymar often found himself in the shadow of Messi, the world's best player. The need to step out and forge his own legacy eventually motivated his next move. In 2017, Neymar made global headlines with a world record transfer to Paris Saint-Germain for €222 million. The move shocked the football world, instantly making him the most expensive player in history. At PSG, Neymar became the centerpiece of a project aimed at transforming the club into a European powerhouse. Neymar's time at PSG has been marked by dazzling brilliance and frustrating setbacks. He has scored over 118 goals in more than 170 appearances, won multiple League One titles, and lifted domestic cups. Yet injuries frequently interrupted his progress, especially in crucial Champions League campaigns. The 2020 final against Bayern Munich, where PSG fell short, was a bitter disappointment, but Neymar's influence throughout the campaign was undeniable. His style of play is mesmerizing: sudden bursts of speed, lightning-quick dribbles, and inventive tricks that leave defenders grasping at air. Neymar embodies the spirit of Brazilian football: creative, unpredictable, and joyous. Yet, his career at PSG has also sparked debates about consistency, resilience, and handling pressure. For Brazil, Neymar has been nothing short of a generational talent. Making his senior debut in 2010 at just 18, he quickly became the poster boy for the national team, hailed as the heir to the greats like Pelé, Ronaldo, and Ronaldinho. From the start, it was clear that Neymar was more than just a skilled player. He was a symbol of hope for a nation that lives and breathes football. One of Neymar's early international highlights came in 2011, when he helped Brazil win the South American Youth Championship. His dribbling, vision, and scoring ability were all on display, signaling that he was ready to take on the senior team. By the time the 2014 World Cup rolled around, Neymar was the centerpiece of the squad, carrying the weight of national expectations on his shoulders. The 2014 World Cup, hosted in Brazil, is remembered both for Neymar's brilliance and heartbreak. Neymar scored crucial goals in the group stages and the round of 16, guiding Brazil deep into the tournament. He was a joy to watch, quick, inventive, and fearless, showing flashes of magic reminiscent of Ronaldinho. However, his dreams came to a tragic halt in the quarterfinals against Colombia, when he suffered a fractured vertebra after a dangerous challenge. The injury not only ended his tournament, but arguably affected Brazil psychologically, as the team suffered a historic 7-1 defeat to Germany in the semi-finals. Neymar watched from the sidelines, devastated, while the nation mourned the loss of both a key player and their World Cup hopes. Despite that setback, Neymar continued to shine for Brazil in the following years. At the 2016 Rio Olympics, he captained the Olympic team to their first ever football gold medal. In the final against Germany, Neymar scored the decisive penalty in a tense shootout, delivering the kind of moment that would etch his name in history. For a country obsessed with football, this was a defining achievement. Neymar had fulfilled a lifelong dream while leading his nation to glory on home soil. In subsequent tournaments, Neymar's role in the national team grew even more pronounced. He played in the 2018 World Cup in Russia, scoring twice, but Brazil was eliminated in the quarterfinals by Belgium. The 2022 World Cup in Qatar was particularly historic for Neymar. He surpassed Pelé as Brazil's all-time leading goal scorer in official FIFA matches, breaking a record many thought would stand forever. By then, Neymar had scored more than 77 goals for Brazil, cementing his legacy as the most prolific scorer in the nation's history. Yet Neymar's international career has not been without controversy. Critics often cite his theatrics on the pitch, sometimes exaggerating fouls or injuries. Off the pitch, questions arose about leadership and discipline, especially during tense tournaments. Still, his skill, creativity, and ability to change a game in an instant are undeniable. For Brazil, Neymar is both a magician and a leader of player whose talent can carry the team through difficult moments, even if results do not always follow. Neymar's brilliance is most evident in how he plays the game. To truly understand why he is so admired, you have to look at the combination of technical skill, creativity, and football intelligence that defines him. Neymar's dribbling is his trademark. Unlike many players who rely solely on speed or power, Neymar combines close ball control, balance, and improvisation. He can weave through tight defenses, performing tricks like steepovers, elastico flicks, and nutmegs that leave opponents off balance. What sets him apart is not just the tricks themselves, but when and how he uses them, often at the perfect moment, to create space or disorient defenders. Despite his flair, Neymar is also a clinical finisher. He has the ability to score from almost anywhere, curling shots from the edge of the box, calm finishes in one-on-one situations, and precise headers. Neymar also takes penalties and free kicks with a unique blend of composure and creativity. His goal scoring is not just about power, it's about placement, timing, and reading the goalkeeper. Neymar is as much a playmaker as he is a scorer. His vision allows him to deliver incisive passes, threading the needle between defenders to set up teammates. During his time at Barcelona, his interplay with Messi and Suarez highlighted this ability. Even at PSG and Al Hilal, Neymar frequently drops deeper to orchestrate attacks, showing that he can influence the game from multiple positions. While Neymar may not be the fastest sprinter in football history, his explosiveness over short distances is remarkable. Combined with agility, balance, and body feints, he can accelerate past defenders in tight spaces. This short burst speed, rather than a sustained long run, allows him to thrive in crowded penalty areas and congested midfield zones. Neymar is also a master of set pieces. His free kicks often combine curve, placement, and deceptive speed, making him a constant threat near the box. He is known for scoring bending shots over walls or curling the ball into corners where goalkeepers cannot reach. Additionally, Neymar's creativity extends to no-look passes, flicks, and sudden changes in direction that leave defenses guessing. No player is perfect, and Neymar has his weaknesses. Injuries have plagued key moments of his career, particularly at PSG. Critics also point to moments of overdrama or theatrics on the pitch, which can draw unnecessary cards or disrupt team rhythm. However, these flaws are often overshadowed by his sheer ability to create magic in moments that matter. Over the years, Neymar has evolved tactically. At Santos, he was primarily a winger or forward, relying on instinct and flair. At Barcelona, he learned to combine individual skill with structured teamwork, thriving in a system with Messi and Suarez. At PSG, he became a focal point, often carrying the attacking load, while at Al Hilal, he has had to